What's good, players? It's me, Sobley. Today I'm walking you through this plus 19 Eco Dome with the boys. Just showing you what I do. So playing normal Frost build, I play in literally every single key ever. It doesn't change. It's always the same. It don't matter. So we've got Elemental Shaman and Arcane Mage in the group. Now we can see that each mob is specifically coloured because of what they do or what they are. So have an Overgorge Might there. I'm going to be kicking those. I marked that with the moon. So if they're kickable or I need to kick them, they will have a pink nameplate. If they're sort of a prior target or just a big fat boy, they will have a blue nameplate. So this is a big fat pull that we do. So we're going to be opening up here. Big dam. Now I'm going to AMS any sort of targeted mechanic that I can, just eat it. You know, the little AoE thing that you get there, just AMSing that, as well as getting a I believe it's Gluttonous Miasma, is that the right one? Or Volatile Ejection even. So I can absorb the damage of that too. We're going crazy here. We're hitting it crazy style right now. Because we don't have an unused trinket for this first ball, we're not doing tons of damage. And because we have to drag mobs away, we start combat pretty early. So the damage doesn't look fantastic. You can't just go straight in and fight. That's where you see all these big numbers when it's like no travel time or anything like that. But we're kicking Gorge just because we don't want the Overgorge Mites to do a ton of damage when they die. We want to kind of dispose of those pretty quickly. This first pool, obviously Bloodlust, everything, Potion, is not actually that bad to handle. You do kind of get through all of your personal cooldowns here, but that's fine because you're not really going to need them for the next boss, really. Next boss is fucking piece of piss. And you get them back pretty quickly anyway. Especially being DKs, we get AMS for almost everything that it needs any sort of defensive on it. We have AMS for it. So as soon as this dies, it's dead. But everything is kind of low and my cooldowns are coming back. Obviously, we do send a second 45 second window here, and it makes sense to do just that. Because everything was so healthy. Now, I'm going to send one more here because all the healthy things, well, nothing here really has tons of health, but it's important to line up your cooldowns with the next boss anyway, so you kind of don't really want to sit on them. So if you're just going to be sat on the cooldowns, it doesn't really matter whether you use them or not. But using them here does kill this pack a little bit quicker, so I would advise to actually do that. Got 25 seconds-ish, 22 seconds now until Pillar comes back, and you do want to make sure you line up Pillar with these first adds, because if you don't, it's just not good. You end up having to wait like a whole cycle of adds in order to use your Pillar, but here, ideally, you probably would have waited like 5 seconds just to make sure that they are 100% up at the right time. I'll kind of get a good usage anyway. By the time they get to us, we're going to stack relatively close. I'm going to have all my bursts ready. It is fine. But you don't want to be too far away from Azhikar. Otherwise, a lot of cleaving things don't actually cleave. But I went out a little bit because I wanted my cleaving abilities to make sure they hit everything. It's being a bit unethical there. But I am now being ethical because you can see I'm doing Obliterate instead of Frost Scythe here because I don't really want to kill these scavengers because they're not for me. They're not my scavengers. They're the other guys. So I'm going to AMS there to prevent that dot from going on me. Thank goodness. And then I'll quickly get back to the boss. Back to stacking on top of everybody because we want all the adds to just stay still. I'm saving my Empowering Weapon charges for when the adds come because Empowering Weapon is a much better spell to use on empowering an AoE ability as opposed to empowering Obliterate. Still good, still something you want to do, but if you can choose to empower a Frost Scythe on 5 targets, 6 targets, rather than empower a Obliterate on 1 target, you're going to get more damage out of that one Empowering Weapon cast. Now, because the pool was there, adds were slowed, there was no issues, no need to do any sort of CCing, they were well looked after and cared for. Did a cheeky little Lich Spawn there. But DR during that is probably like the only time we actually need it. Now, they can stack back up and our cooldowns are coming back as well. I'm looking to see how many Bone Grinder stacks I can get before I send off this burst. So as soon as we have the facilities to burst, we do. Now, this is key to try and burst as soon as possible as well because we want to get that 5 stack of Pillar during our burst window before everything is dead. Otherwise, everything's going to hit like 30% less. Because that 5 stack of Pillar, that 5 stack of Frozen Dominion gives us 40% Mastery. That is key. That's something that is good. Mastery is bueno. Okay, put that there and then come back. Very riveting boss. sitting at about 9 million damage. Ads have come back. We're going to do a couple of frost eyes on these, I think. And there we go. So now we have pillar and the intermission. I'm going to use my pillar window on these ads to get rid of these quickly. I did say to my group, don't worry about them. I'm doing a full burst on these ads, so you guys can kill anything else or the boss. There we go. That whole wave handled by Frost DK. Very bueno. So now rinse and repeat. Rinse and repeat. Nothing new. Nothing different. What can we talk about in this moment? Well, we can talk about the Frost DK tier set that's coming in midnight. I thought that might be worth mentioning because there's not really much else to talk about, right? This boss, but in the new expansion, it seems that they've data mined the Frost DK set. It looks like two set gives us a reduced cooldown on empowering weapon, which is fantastic. That's very nice, and it increases the damage. And then 4 set actually makes our pillar window give us a empowering weapon charge as well at the start, which is cool. I do like that. It just guarantees that there's going to be something to do in your burst. Basically, it's burst luck protection. They're making sure that when you actually press pillar, you don't have to pre-pull or anything like that. They're really trying to dumb this game down. They don't really care about whether or not you need to prepare beforehand. I think that's all right. That's not bad. It just means that you're still going to prepare first. You still just have to kind of do your I like to call it the learner driver technique, where you check your mirrors and signal. You know, when you're learning to drive a car and you always check mirrors and signal first, and then do your maneuver. Well, it's like that when you burst. Mirrors and signal. You're checking your killer machine procs, you're checking your powering weapon procs. Now you're just going to be checking fucking everything before you burst in, just to make sure you're not going to overcap nothing. Because Breath's going to give you an empowering weapon charge. Pillar's going to give you an empowering weapon charge. Hearthstone's going to give you an empowering weapon charge. What the fuck? I don't understand. It's fine though. Okay, but I do think it's funny. I think it will be good. I think it will be funny. Right. Moving on. This pack quickly killed. We didn't have a massive nether prism for it, to be honest. I think looking back, I probably would have stacked my nether prism up a little bit more for this pack. Rather than use it on the boss. That was probably an oversight from me. Looking back on it, it's always good to look back on yourself like this and be very harsh on yourself, because then you will learn. Because shame is the greatest teacher. There is nothing like a bit of shame to force you into never doing something again. Okay, next pack. We do have our cooldowns coming back. We want to focus the overcharge sentinel, most definitely, because this guy is a bad man. And then get his shield down just a tad. And as soon as our cooldowns come back, his shield should be about, looking about 2/3 right now. Almost halfway done. Bursting now. This should eradicate his shield, but then also give us some damage in his sort of susceptibility phase, where he's not shielded, where we can smack him up. That'd be right now. It's key to kill this guy quickly when he's in this part, because the damage he does to the team is pretty heavy. When he spawns those puddles under you as well, they're fucking unforgiving. And he's dead. See that? You don't even have a second lead. You don't even have a second lead. You just get hit, and that's just it. Okay, so we've got another pillar window coming back. We want to make sure that we are actually by the mobs when we do our pillar window, so that cryogenic chamber does actually hit everything. Because if you cast your pillar when you're not near any targets, cryogenic chamber doesn't actually go off. It's kind of a weird interaction, actually. The cryogenic chamber, that is one of our talents that we have. And every time you consume it... Right, I'm going to sneeze, dude. Every time you consume... I'm going to sneeze, dude. I'm not retaking this whole fucking video. Okay. Sneeze is going. Cryogenic chamber. Every time you consume rhyme, you store a portion of that damage, and then when you cast Pillar of Frost, it expels that damage. Goodness gracious me. Right, big pool here. I don't know who the fuck big pool is, but we've got a large mob count here. We're about to press breath and everything, and it's at a pretty decent time as well. You see how the Sentinel's shield is kind of low. let's just deal with our jobs first. Let's just do our chores first, just to make sure we don't have anything else that's going to get in the way of bursting. And there's not. Let me burst here now. The guys is going to die quite quickly. I think I remember something about this pack. I'm not sure what, but we're going to dispose of this guy fast time. And you're done. Good job. Now the next targets are the Fast Stalkers. You see they are coated with a nice pink paint on their nameplate. So you can tell the difference quite nicely if you're interested in this nameplater. And the link's in my bio. Available to my Twitch subs. As is everything to do with my UI. Big. Okay. Sitting nicely at about 13 mil overall. Pretty cool. I'm looking at my bone grinder stacks. I'm just going to proc it, man. Like, there's no real worry too much. By the time this pack gets grouped up, the stacks will be gone, and then I can press pillow and everything as well. But I think here we're just kind of like, what are we actually doing? Are we pulling the boss? Are we not? I think, okay, we are. Cool. So now I'm going to do a pillar window here, because I'm not really going to wait 20 seconds for breath, let's be honest. And then by the time he becomes 2 targets, breath should be back and everything. But now we have some javelins, and these guys can't immune the javelins now, so we do have to target them and try and kill them. So they're my main target. I'm still doing things like Frost Scythe, but by being the main target of things like my Howling Blast, and just by being main target, they take a little bit extra damage from me. Could focus all that damage into Obliterate, but to be honest, they are safe. There's no real need to. Okay. Now what we do here is we normally we just have one guy go in, then do the thing, the incorporeal strike, and then just fuck off. Just fuck off. Just fuck off. Go out. Don't go back in there, or you can take more damage, you silly sausage. There you go. Handle it just like that. We're going to take some extra mobs as well for the destabilize. Get back there, Obly. I'm going to grip those guys. I'm wasting precious destabilize damage. Doesn't matter. It's fine. Now we have a nice bone grinder stack, and we have an antenna orb coming towards us as well. Grab that. Give us some extra crit in this AoE time. And of course we're going to be frost scything because there's loads of targets. Let's try and get a bone grinder stack. Another one, just one more. Consume that killer machine. Bam. Extending your breath window here when there's lots of ads is pretty good. It is something you want to search to do, but to be honest, just by playing the game, you will extend your breath because you want to be consuming killer machines at a fast pace anyway. Now I was able to AMS that binding javelin there, so it completely nullifies the need to even deal with that javelin. Don't worry about it. Safe hands. That's what they call me. They call me Sean Safe Hands. You know why they call me Sean Safe Hands? Because Sean's my first name. That's why. Next javelin. Let's kill these, and we have breath up. Then we have pillar up as well. That's fine. That's good. So we should be able to dispose of javelin a little bit quicker than before, but I don't think anybody else has any CDs, which is kind of sad. Now we go quickly back there. I was so tempted to press AMS on that ability there, but to be honest, it's better to just do something like IBF instead of AMS, because AMS, you want to save that to completely negate a mechanic instead. So here we go. We have middle phase again. I'm going to wait for him to do his, then I'll go in with mine, then I fuck off and let them do theirs. And now we have some extra ads to kill as well, because why not? Everyone loves ads. He does theirs. I'm kind of baiting a little bit poorly there by going a little bit far away, but you don't need to go that far, to be honest. You just need to go far enough to the point where it hits. And almost, cheeky. Full burst here as well, with a mid-stacked nether prism. Nothing crazy, but realistically, nether prisms on bosses aren't fantastic. They're so good in AoE. Obviously, a high stack nether prism on a boss is fine, it's great, but you get a lot of value by having an AoE. So normally at the end of a boss fight like this, I would look to start saving my nether prism, but because we need to try and one phase this, we can't really afford to have a second phase. That's a massive time sink. I'm not going to bother. I'm just going to send it, of course. Now I'm going to AMS this like a cheeky chappy, and then we're going to go to this binding javelin and kill that because it's 14% on the boss. Don't think this is a time where you can really just full hammer in on the boss. The fella will die. Get a couple more ads as well, and we have pillar and reaper as well. Fantastic. Could have Magard actually for added effect here, but I think we're pretty safe. If we look at Arcane Blitz, we have 20 seconds left. Boss at 3%, 2%. We're gonna phase. We're not gonna phase. Sorry. We're gonna kill. Die, please. Yeah. Now we've got to dispose of this pack quickly. Actually don't know what we do here, if we take it to the next pack or not. Maybe we do. It's been a while since we did this key. The key's like a week old. But we have no cooldowns, so we're kind of hitting like a wet noodle. That's the common saying. Nothing we can do here. Nothing important, nothing fun, nothing interesting to talk about this. We're not even getting any killing machine procs, dude. Like, I'm looking for my auto swing timer, and if I get that killing machine off the swing timer, it's great. If not, then I'm still going to press the button most likely. But at least waiting for that swing timer is the right thing to do. Dude, I'm so unlucky. That whole pool there, mega unluck. Now, considering we've just done this big pool, it might have been better to just go in with that big pool and have all of our cooldowns, but I spent my pillar, which is not good, which means we need to, I'm probably going to pop like halfway through here, which is a pretty poor usage of cooldowns. However, I have allowed my nether prism to stack up a little bit more, so all is not lost. You're kind of rewarded for holding slightly, but things are dying pretty quick, dude. Like, breathing here is going to feel awful. But I'm going to breathe them all to death at least. The key to doing a key fast is to kill everything to death quickly. I learned that from no one. I'm self-taught. And you're dead. Yeah, so you still have breath ticking, which is kind of abysmal. That's enough to make ones miserable. Running a crit flask as well, just because crit flasks are pretty decent, because the value of crit goes up so much in AoE compared to every other stat. That's because getting a crit is so much more important in AoE as it is in single target, let me tell you. Now here, fighting the ritualist in this, but to be fair, I think you'd probably be better off targeting the elementals, just because they give everything a shield, and because they live for so long at this key level, it is key to just get them neutralized. Talking like I'm in Battlefield. Now grip that bad boy and do a little cheeky pillar. I'm not gonna be holding cooldowns here. That is a silly idea. Would not hold for breath, because our pillar windows are still very strong. Now the only shit thing here is the fact that these creepers just make this shit on the floor that you can't really do anything in, because that will one shot, that will kill you. So you have to just deal with those. Spend that kill machine quickly. Yeah, good boy. Good boy, Obbers. Yeah, this pack seems to live for quite a while, because A, I haven't got cooldowns, and B, these elementals are kind of just hammering shields on everyone. This is when I finally realised, you know what? Fuck these guys. But everything is proper close to death, you see? So it's going to feel bad to breathe, but I'm going to breathe anyway. Whether or not that was the right choice, maybe I should have just held maybe I should have held breath and just done pillar, because now you can see everything's kind of dead now. Not sure if we're getting full value off of that burst there. A pillar, fine. A breath, not so much. Give a substantial pull coming up now. But I mean, the key with these dungeons is to get your cooldowns off cooldown, is to use them as many times as you possibly can. Now I'm going to take this moon marker here, and it's going to be my interrupt. Okay. We face one fatal error, but it's fine. Res and go, keep going. Now we have pillar and reapers rolling. Let's go back on my little moon marker and just let them have it. Make sure I'm positioned well so that everything that can cleave does cleave. I don't want to be positioned in a way where my back is to anything, so that my frontal abilities don't hit them. To face, want everyone to be kind of right in front of you and stacked as possible. I think something that does get overlooked a lot is how important it is to have things stacked together, and how much doesn't cleave if things aren't like right on top of each other ish. Especially Glacial Advance. Glacial Advance is thin, dude. I want my Glacial Advance to hit everything. Now we're getting shagged by the shaman here, but it's okay. You have pillar. I mean, we lost that 4 stack of bone grinder. How sad is that? How sad is that? Now, I choose not to do breath here. I think I choose just to do a pillar window, which makes exact sense, because look at everything. Everything is so close to being dead. And the next pool, I know the next pool is kind of dangerous. There's semi-big pool, semi-dangerous ones. So I don't really want to send anything big on this. Got 20 seconds until Pillar comes back. The fact that Pillar and Reaper are both on a 45-second cooldown is pretty nuts, to be honest, if you ask me. Such a strong cooldown on such a little cooldown. That if you work at Blizzard, I take it back. It actually needs its cooldown reduced. 30 seconds, please. Now, focusing this pack speaker. It's got the most amount of health. It's just a big boy, really. And we're going to burst. We have a 55k on our Nether Prism as well, because we kind of held for an additional 45-second window, which is mental. That's pretty big. I mean, the most it can go is to about 70k when it's a 730 fully upgraded, which is nuts. That's like, you have 100k strength. So that's like a 75% damage increase on that trinket. When you compound that together with every other cooldown that you've got, that is ridiculous. Utterly silly. Nether Prism and Araz Forge is a goated combo, because both of them, their like passive effects are pretty good. I mean, Araz passive effect is just crit, and we love crit in AoE. And then the Nether Prism is just damage, and just damage is fine, and it's even better on bosses. But having such a fat cooldown to use every breath is nuts. So we can only afford to do a pillar window here because we have no breath, no breathings. But we are going to do a big pull after this. I know that because that will be the boss, and we'll be taking some additional trash onto the boss with us. Let's hurt this back speaker a little bit more. Will this be a small pillow angle? I don't remember. No, definitely won't be. But I will be trying to kill this fucking guy before he does his shield. Yeah, good stuff. Easy peasy. I'd say Ecodome is probably one of the easier keys. I'd say Ecodome is probably the easiest key, in my opinion. I'd say it's actually also probably one of my favourite keys. I really like Ecodome. I think the aesthetic's pretty cool. I think it's different. It's as dungeons go, I do really like it. They've done well here. As the entire season goes, to be honest, this is a good season. In my opinion, this is a good season. Am I just saying that because I'm playing the meta melee? Maybe. Is it still wrong? No. Now, have our burst and everything here. I'm going to quickly grab my guy while I'm bursting so I can have some additional damage. My little shadow bloke. My little void chap. Do some extra damage in burst. You see that? Fucking 22 milli. Not bad. I'll do. I'm fucking scared of that circle. I'm literally so scared of that circle, so I'm just staying well enough away. No cooldown on that. Can't speak. No defensive cooldown on that because I was using a potion just to heal myself straight back up. The way I see it, sometimes you can save yourself on a defensive if you know you can just heal yourself back to full and you'll be fine. The thing about this boss is there's not really much, like, damage is incredibly predictable. It just comes with the intermittent mechanics that he does when he rips your soul out and you have to go collect it. That's basically it. He has like little ticking damage, but the ticking damage is pretty pathetic. So I'm going to go for the one that's in the shit first. That's stack number 1. Now I'm going to look for the one that's going to become in the shit. So I was looking there. It always goes counterclockwise, and the souls always spawn the same way. One in the poop instantly, one that's going to be in the poop next, and which is the second one you grab, and then the third one, which is like 1 or 2 waves away from being in the poop, and that is your third one. So you can elongate it, so you can extend the buff. You can grab one, then a couple seconds later grab the second, a couple seconds later grab the third. If you rush to grab all 3, you're just going to expire quite quickly. Whispers of Fate again. Now let's go grab our guy, and we'll do a burst. I spent those 2 killer machines. I spent the next 2 killer machines. That's alright. Procking Bone Grinder like that, it's fine. You do run your cooldowns in quite a tight manner though, because Exterminate is on basically the last GCD of Bone Grinder. So yeah, I must be careful. Grab my guy, run away, face away from the boss like an idiot so that my breath doesn't cleave. Who do I think I am? And we're fine. Still hovering about 10 mil. With the Arcane Mage and Shaman having some sort of funnel at the beginning. That is pretty nice for them. I mean, I say that, I was doing 22 mil. Then I fell off. Probably fall off. Needs to be studied. Okay, now we have our little burst window. I'm actually going to wait and grab a couple of these before I do that burst window. Cancel all macroed my bone grinder buff that I had. Grab my second stack of that. Now, really poorly executed that window, to be honest. I'm not proud of that. I knew what the intention was there, but the intention was fucking shit because I'm an idiot. But no, it's fine. What I wanted to do there was try and get my second stack before Reaper's Mark went off, but then I realised, shit, I need to get my bone grinder off. I didn't get it done in time. Doesn't matter. There's worse things to be worried about. You could be bald or smell really bad. Neither of which I am. Alright, let's grab this. And we're going to burst. I think what I could have done is just wait for my soul instead, which I probably should have done. I'm just kind of giving away free damage here. Quickly grab that. Then my Reaper's Mark could have done like 10% more if I just waited. But I also thought to myself, will I be able to do a full burst by the time the boss dies if I wait? Most likely not, but I was wrong. Most likely I could have. Boss would actually probably be dead right now. Doesn't matter. There we go, Eco Dome. This was done ages ago because my score is 3.69 there. Now I'm 3.760. But yeah, it was a fucking easy Eco Dome. That was very nice as keys go. I think with turbo boost and everything, the damage is going crazy up. I can't imagine. I think Resi 20 is probably on the cards when the turbo boost properly happens, when you can get all the uncapped gilded crest, get my because I'm actually running basically one embellishment because I have to run a ring with the ring embellishment, and that fucking sucks because I can't afford to make a second crit one. So we're really facing it there. But that was Eco Dome. Thank you very much for watching, everybody. If you're interested in more content, don't forget to subscribe. Stay up to date. Don't forget to like the video if you want to help me out as well. And then if you want to join my Discord, that link's in the bio. If you're interested in some coaching, let's get it. That link's in the bio also. Thanks very much. Have a great one. Bye.